It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, March 6, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, or the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you are watching on YouTube, part of the over 62,000 subscribers on this platform, we say thank you. And of course, tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Subscribe, hit the like button. Braylon Edwards, we feel whole today because we have Tom Mazaway back with us. But first and foremost, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Appreciate that. Rocking the 41 dirt for the 41-year-old. What just happened was amazing in terms of me getting this shifted to this side right at the end because I kind of forgot. I'm like,
I forgot which side you had it on.
I was like, what the hell is going on? But I'm doing good. I'm happy. My guy is back. He looks like he got a 10-time Mazaway. It's all about you. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm good, Bray. It's good to be home. Not really. I love you guys, but it's really not good.
I'm not mad.
I mean, to not be in Miami Beach. Miami Beach.
Give me some stories.
Guy like me don't belong in Miami Beach. I mean, there's beautiful people everywhere you turn.
You're a beautiful guy.
Inside I am. Inside I'm beautiful. But I'll tell you, my eyes had a heart attack. And, you know.
Now, does Kathy walk around with you? And happy birthday, Kathy.
Yes,
Maz.
Kathy. Happy birthday.
You guys spent a weekend in Miami for her birthday. That is
Small Walter's birthday
happy
day, too.
birthday, Uncle Walter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man.
Now, does she whip you into shape out there, or how does that work?
Well, Kathy's a big walker, so she likes to walk. She knows I got a bad foot right now. I'm trying to work through that. So she did a lot of the walking in the morning on her own. Then we went to the beach, and we stayed on the beach till it got dark. And it gets dark early on the East Coast in Miami right now. Before 6 o'clock, it's time to get off the beach. 6 o'clock, we made it there till 6 o'clock almost every night. It's just a wonderful place, man. It is unbelievable. It's expensive.
And how are the Ubers?
The Ubers were very funny. Nobody speaks English. I mean, nobody.
Portuguese.
Dude, I was in Orlando, Celebration, Florida, at Disney a couple of weeks ago. Nobody spoke English there in the Ubers.
Miami, I think it might as well be Havana, Cuba.
This was funny about Orlando, too, Matt, not to cut you off. When we were there for Christmas, Ryan, the cab drivers, same thing, didn't speak English, spoke Spanish. Guess what? My girlfriend's daughter, she's in Spanish 3.
Yes.
She started speaking Spanish 3, and now he says he doesn't know Spanish.
Oh my God.
It was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, you legitimately just said you don't speak English, you speak Spanish. She started speaking Spanish. Okay. I'm like,
I had my daughter Maddie on FaceTime a million times because she is in her 4th year of Spanish. I mean, she's pretty good at it.
Okay.
And I was like, Maddie, you should be here so you could at least translate what these people are saying about me.
Well, you have the iPhone translator, too. You could do that to communicate these days.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
They really just don't want to talk to us.
Exactly.
Like that's what it boils down to. They will find any language that you don't speak. I don't speak. I speak Spanish. Oh, you speak Spanish? I speak Russian. They'll find a way.
My wife is a talker when it comes to getting in a car with someone. So I'm like, honey, they don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Just kill it.
I always click on no conversation.
I mean, there's no conversation. Our ride to the airport back in Miami, we're going to Miami International. It's like a 20-minute ride from where we were. This guy was cutting off cars and then looking in his mirror. I mean, it was quite a scene, man. I was laughing. My wife was holding on for dear life. I was just laughing my ass off. It was a funny weekend, great weekend. Like I said, you could get in trouble on Miami Beach, South Beach.
How they look down there, Maz?
It's unbelievable. You can't turn around. I can't turn 5 feet without my wife looking. She knows. I mean, I'm not blind for crying out loud. I might be 62, but I still think like I'm 14.
Oh my God!
I mean, who don't?
That's why we love you.
I can't help it. And the women there is just unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And the guys
are great looking.
Good looking guys, too.
Great looking. It's a beautiful place.
I don't know about the guys, but the women is why I lived down there for 10 years, from
Wow, there
2005.
for 10 years.
In the
Right.
off seasons.
Yeah.
So I pulled that Derek Jeter, but I actually figured it out in terms of living at this, making that my residence. Because the way that football season tracks out, I actually spent more time in Miami than I did in Cleveland. So
Less taxes.
100. It's no taxes.
No
to a
taxes.
certain extent. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I was there 2005 to 2014, and when I retired, I was down there and. It was time to come home.
Absolutely.
Let's just say that it's a dangerous place when you're not working.
It is. It is. You can't walk up and down Ocean Avenue, Fifth Avenue. Those are their big ones that where all the restaurants. And we went down to Lincoln Street. It's like an outdoor mall on Lincoln Street. They got guys rolling cigars, women making handmade pasta right there in the windows. It's a fantastic place if you want to go and lose yourself for a few days.
Now, one of the videos that's circulating on social media is like the city of Miami telling spring breakers to stay home. Don't come here.
Police were everywhere. You
that's what I was
couldn't
going to ask
turn
you about.
because they would not allow what happened a couple of years ago
Right.
happen on their beaches. I mean, they are up and down the beaches, up and down the streets. We saw no problems whatsoever.
So literally, when I was there, speaking of staying there, that was one of the big times to be down there because it still was off season, spring break. You're down there, and back then I'm the same age as almost these girls in college. I'm 24, 25. These girls are 21, 22. So it was a lot of fun, but it used to get crazy. And the older I got living down there, Ryan and Mass, I would like people that live in Miami. They leave for spring break. Like if you live on the beach, you stay at these condos, you get out of there, man, because these people come up from everywhere.
Yep.
And it's not even people in college. It's the people that aren't in college that are all the problem. They come up there because of the spring breakers. They just get wild, get crazy, break into your cars, they fight in the clubs. Like there's a lot of muggings, a lot of robberies. It's just an unsafe time, and that's why spring comes, I'm out.
I told you last week when my daughter was in West Palm Beach, spring break, beautiful place. She got pickpocketed. She lost her phone. She lost all her IDs, some cash because she had the little wallet on the back of her phone.
Right.
She's at AT&T now. I'm still trying to straighten out problems. I mean,
Isn't that incredible?
You can't look away for a second. They got you. They got you coming and going.
Well, we're happy to have you back, Maz, and of course, Pete Spivak in the house.
Great job,
Kool-Aid
Pete.
is in the house with us as well. Kool-Aid, you have some company behind you as well. Big Mike in the house.
Yeah, I do, man. Hey, you want to say what up to the people real quick?
Say what up, Mike.
How's everybody doing today?
Real fine. Mike is training to be a part of the show and take over the audio booth for Kool-Aid, who's got his own show to worry about
NJB,
now.
right?
He's big time. He's big time. Jesus
big
Christ.
time.
Hey, we appreciate Kool-Aid doing the mornings
We
and
do.
coming back for
Oh,
us.
my God. This guy's
Amen.
one of our favorites. So,
Especially
Kool-Aid, thanks
considering-
for being here, buddy.
Especially considering he still just had a baby.
Oh, my gosh.
His better half had
Absolutely.
a baby. There you go.
Shout out to
y'all look at your
Liliana.
trouble.
Thank you for that.
Hey,
man.
before
I
we get into the
appreciate you all.
show, Bray, Dirk Nowitzki, really cool jersey today.
Appreciate that, Pete. You know, it's the 41. It's the Dirk. I'm 41 years old, so I purchased this jersey. Dirk's always been one of my favorite basketball players. Like what he did to LeBron was insane. It was nuts. It's one of the best. It's one of the best paths I think Kool-Aid I've ever seen, from first round, second round, third round, and then what he did in the conference finals against a team that was up 2-1. But Dirk's cool people, man. I like Dirk, so.
Great looking jersey. That's a throwback jersey.
100%.
Yep.
It's the old Rolando Blackman.
Yep.
Yeah,
Remember that Maverick? It had the M with the cowboy hat
100%
on
was
it. That was a good
cowboy hat.
logo.
So
That was
yeah,
a
I
great
love
logo.
Dirk,
Right.
man, with the knee band. Bang.
You know what I got hooked on again? Speaking of Dallas, Mark Cuban. I got hooked on Shark Tank.
Oh, so
again.
good.
Yeah.
When we were talking about this, I think last week, and you started talking about Shark
Yeah.
Tank. Shark Tank is one of those shows, man. I've always liked Shark Tank.
It is cool.
If
I'm
there's
watching
nothing to-
repeats.
If there's nothing to watch,
Right.
it's a great show to kill a half
It
hour.
is. It is.
Or at least even 20 minutes, because
Yeah.
you can see a segment or two, a product or two, and you move on.
I think too is like the people are interesting, like their ideas, because it's. I never knew when I didn't first start watching it when everybody else did. I just thought everybody on there was like first time trying to pitch an idea. I didn't know people were actually making money.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of these people have already made money, and now they're looking for, I guess, like to push them to the next part.
Right.
Those are always my favorite.
Like Bombas.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, like those are the
Bombas
ones.
is one of the
Oh,
of the
was
best
that a Shark
products.
Tank?
That was a Shark Tank product.
Those are the
You know-
socks.
You know what was also a Shark Tank product that did not get picked up? Ring doorbell.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Ring doorbell.
Wow.
Yep.
There's a mistake.
Did not get picked up.
Sheesh.
But mistake for the Sharks.
Yes, for the Sharks.
Perfect for the guys.
Yeah.
They didn't have to share that revenue with any of those billionaires.
That is amazing too.
Isn't it?
Ring doorbell's amazing.
Absolutely.
They break people's dreams down on that show.
No doubt.
Like if you have tough skin, don't go on that show.
They chased 2 guys off yesterday inside of 5 minutes. They had some idea of where to plug your phone in a club. Like it had a locker, and they just with a fingerprint. They blew them out within 4 minutes.
That's so funny. Guys, we got a great show for you today. Dave Birkett is going to join us at the in hour number 2 of the program. If you're watching live at about 3:10, 3:15, somewhere in there, we'll talk to Dave Birkett about the Lions. He released his mock draft earlier today on Freep.com, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I just wanted to point it out to you that we will have him on today. I really like who he takes at number 29, and I think maybe leading up to the interview, we'll discuss more of what that mock draft is. In the meantime, I wanted to get back to the NFL draft. We do have free agency 1 week from today, guys, but the question I had for you, and
draft is 50 days away, by the way.
Yes, 50 days from today.
5-0.
The question I had for both of you, and anybody in the chat that wants to get in, how can people be so on opposite ends of the spectrum with one particular player? And I'm talking about Caleb Williams.
Ooh.
And this is the way I want to have the conversation. Caleb Williams is being compared to the best quarterback prospect since Patrick Mahomes on one end.
Okay.
On the other end, he's a no-touch. I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't draft him. Ryan Leaf was on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday. Say whatever you want about Ryan Leaf, but he is just another so-called quarterback expert that is not in on Caleb Williams. And you're going to hear that in 1 second, but the question I want to kind of throw out there for people to discuss is, how can people be that off on one play? It's not like, oh, he's going to be a great player or he's not going to be a great player. He's going to be Patrick Mahomes or he's going to be a dud.
Ryan Leaf.
Like, essentially,
one way or the
what
other.
Ryan Leaf has to say about Caleb Williams. This is courtesy of the Dan Patrick Show.
If the Bears take Caleb Williams, ... Finish that.
If they take him, I would be... you better be under the understanding that you're going to sit him this year. And that's not going to happen. So
why would you sit him?
Well, because 75% of what he made him so great in college is not transferable to the NFL. He's not going to be able to do that. He can't do what he did in college 75% of the time and be successful at the NFL level. He can do the 25% part at the NFL level, but he needs some time. He needs to get under center. He needs to understand how to throw on time, on platform, from the pocket. What he can do off platform is what makes him so exciting, because he may be one of the most talented quarterbacks in this year's draft and many in the past year's draft. But he is a guy that I don't think can be a starter on day one. And I think they wanted to do that with Justin Fields, but like any team that drafts any quarterback in the top 5, you're expected to play immediately. And unfortunately, I don't think he's a starting quarterback this year. I think the 2 guys that I would put some faith in to be a starting quarterback this year would be probably Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr. Those are the 2 guys I could see being a first-round pick that could start this season.
Not Drake May.
No, I got Drake May as a second-round guy.
That he made, just to recap it for you, he says 75% of what Caleb Williams did in college is not transferable to the NFL game. He thinks he is not going to say he's not going to be a good player in the NFL. He just does not believe he could be a starter day one. He thinks there's 2 quarterbacks in this draft that could start day one. That's Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix, and nobody else.
Michael Penix.
So there you go. But again, the question: how can one player be so polarizing? And you're not talking about this guy being like a great player or not a great player. You're talking about this transcendent comparison to Patrick Mahomes in many cases. People are talking about how he had a higher grade than Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes or anybody else that came out in a comparable year, and then I wouldn't take him. How do we get there?
It's a tough place. Let me take my time as I try to give this answer for the very first time. I think with football today, with the quarterback position today, in terms of grading a guy like Caleb Williams, I think you're trying to see, the comparisons to Patrick Mahomes, the stuff that he does in terms of being able to throw on the run, in terms of running with the football, he's excellent in like that. He gets yards after carry. He extends the chains, and he makes the magnificent play look easy. And I think he does that. So I think that's the people that are getting excited. They're thinking about what the NFL is. They're thinking about Patrick Mahomes. They're thinking about Josh Allen. They're thinking about him coming along and being that next guy to have excitement, 50 touchdowns or things of that nature. So they're excited because he's another one of these type of quarterbacks that we're starting to see and we're starting to enjoy. Fantasy football players, individuals that are getting into the sport. But I think on the other side, it's the things that you'd pay attention to if you're a franchise owner or if you're really trying to vet the process. And that process is, in the big moments, it doesn't seem like he's there. In the big games, it seems like he gets outplayed. He can't seem to beat, or he can't seem to rise to the occasion when the stage is the biggest. And if you're trying to get a guy to represent your franchise number one overall, and you're looking at that, what are we talking about, Ryan? You got to be able to win in college, and it doesn't seem like he's been able to win in college. So those are the people that may be out on him. But in terms of that special stuff that he does, the things that remind people of Patrick Mahomes, those are the people that care about football today. And I think that's why you're seeing just the differences.
Listen, it's something you always say. You're not going to be right now. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be right now.
Right.
He's going to get drafted number one overall. There have been plenty of quarterbacks, number one overall, that have gone on to great careers. And there have been plenty that have flamed out. We're not going to know a damn thing until he gets on that field in Chicago. But I think if I'm Chicago and the way they are ramping up their team, they want to try to win in a few years. Let's just say they're starting over like the Lions did. Let's just say Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus are going with the 3-year plan. That's what they're doing because they can't win a Super Bowl this year. Maybe next year they can compete like the Lions did last year, win 9 games, maybe even squeeze a 10th game out. And then in year 3, be ready to go. Because we already know they got a pretty damn good defense. They got a damn good wide receiver in DJ Moore. They're going to get a good running back, and they're going to fix their offensive line. So they're going to draft Caleb Williams, and within 3 years, they should be ready to compete if they think if this guy turns out the way he's supposed to turn out. Took Mahomes, 2 seasons? Give him 2 seasons.
True, and technically, really, it took Mahomes 1.
Right.
He
took over and got to the playoffs.
And threw for 5,000 yards, man, which is crazy. Let me try to do that over again. I was trying, and I don't know if I necessarily landed that plane. I think that plane is still
time, Bray.
100%. I think that plane is still in the air. At the end of the day, there are 2 camps. There's people that like Caleb Williams, and there's people that don't like Caleb Williams. I think the people that are far out on Caleb Williams, or they wouldn't draft Caleb Williams, those are the people that didn't like him crying to the stands with his mom. They don't like his father. They don't like him saying, well, maybe I'll stay in college. They don't like the arrogant attitude. They don't like it doesn't seem like he's a leader on the field.
Doesn't have an agent.
He doesn't have an agent. Whatever comes out, whatever narratives that lead people to not liking him, those are the people that are out on Caleb Williams. Those are the people that say, I wouldn't touch him, I wouldn't draft him, etc. I think the people that can look past that, the people that actually watch the game, the people that actually see who he is, the people that actually saw that interview and said, maybe this kid is a lot different than I gave him credit for, those are the people that are still in on Caleb Williams and think that he's going to be the number one and actually think he's going to be that type of player. I just think it's people that like him, and then it's people that watch film.
You know, one of the things about it, too, and I was talking to Maz a little bit about this earlier before the show, Braylon, it was, this is a time of year as well where there's really nothing going on. I mean, there's nothing going on. And
Tell us about
it. And you sit there and you do this job, whether it's us or people down the radio dial or, the ESPN newspaper writers, Fox Sports, NFL Network. Everybody is trying to essentially fill their space with some sort of something that's going to get you a bunch of clicks, a bunch of views, all this stuff. And I think one of the reasons that people are so polarized on Caleb Williams specifically is because if you say he's the best prospect since Patrick Mahomes, that's going to get you a bunch of clicks.
Yeah.
If you say I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, that too is going to get your name in the news a little bit, like Merrill Hodge or like a Ryan Leaf, I have seen now. This was a situation on the Dan Patrick show he did yesterday. I've seen Ryan Leaf be played on Get Up on ESPN. I've seen that clip on Colin's show. I've seen it on First Take.
Make your rounds.
That clip is going everywhere because people pick things out and they take them. It is not popular to come out here and say, you know what, let's take a wait-and-see approach on Caleb Williams. Is that fair? Let's take a wait-and-see approach on him. I don't think he's going to be
dropping.
Right. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I don't really know for sure. And if you think he's going to be a good quarterback, you don't really know for sure either. Time will tell, and we'll just have to let it see and play out. That doesn't pay your bills. And I think this poor kid essentially has become the victim of dead sports season. That's really what I think of Caleb Williams. He is the victim now, and that's maybe not the right word I want to use. But in this case,
he's the poster boy.
He is the poster. There you go, Tom Mazaway. Thank you. I don't want to use that victim word.
Poster boy.
Right now, Caleb Williams is the poster boy for a dead period in sports. People need to fill their air with something. He is a polarizing player. You love him, you hate him, you think he's going to be Mahomes, you don't think he's going to be a starting quarterback in this league, and you move on from there.
In the words
and we're doing it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
very true. In the words of Neil Rule, two things can be true. I think absolutely what you said is true. You and Mash came up with that poster boy of this particular period. I think what else is going on too, Ryan, remember last year's number one quarterback. Remember last year's can't miss prospect, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Remember 2 years before, or 3 years before he comes out, Brady Quinn comes on this show. What's up, BQ? Brady comes on the show and says he's going to win 2 Heisman trophies. Almost won 2. If they would have won that game, he probably would have won 2. He goes from, oh my God, he's going to be great. Then remember the draft the year before he came out. If he was in this draft, he would have been the number one quarterback taken. Then he goes through his last year, and then all of a sudden his season's over. And then what happens? Is he the number one guy? Is he not the number one guy? Is he too short? All of a sudden, these things that we said about him being this generational talent kind of start to flutter out the window a little bit. And now is it C.J. Stroud or is it him? I think part of this with Caleb Williams, too, is what happened with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud this year. Bryce Young went number one. He was supposed to be the guy. Then look what happened in Carolina. Though they don't have anything, he didn't have a good year. He didn't look like an NFL-ready quarterback at all. Meanwhile, C.J. Stroud lit up the board like chess pieces. So I think that's a part of it, too, is people are like, there's no such thing as slam dunk number ones anymore. And I think last year is probably a cautionary tale for these people.
Just go back a couple of years ago. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was the greatest college football recruit since Peyton Manning or since Andrew Luck. How about that?
Which is a hell of a talent.
Do you feel that way now about Trevor Lawrence? Because I got to tell you, if I'm starting a football team right now and I got 2 choices at quarterback, C.J. Stroud or Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking C.J. Stroud. That to me isn't a player that is the greatest recruit in college football at quarterback since Andrew Luck.
Yeah, that
might take him a while. Might take him longer than
Trevor
the average
Lawrence?
guy. Yeah.
So what I will say to that is this, Ryan. When you first said that, I thought you were off your rocker because you've been saying it since before he won the playoff game, and I thought that you were off the rocker then. And then he wins the playoff game over Justin Herbert, where he comes back
27-0, I think it was,
and he threw 4 interceptions and came back and won that game. But from that game, Ryan, from that second half of that game to last year, all of that season, he took a major step back. He took a step back, but the question is it Doug Peterson or is it Trevor Lawrence? But to your point, I'm taking C.J. Stroud, and I think you're absolutely right. He has taken a step back. But my big question, I'll give him a little bit of rope. Is it Doug Peterson that's holding him back?
And it's just, again, one of those dead periods where you're sitting here talking about players and making statements about players. What was the statement made about C.J. Stroud last year? Can't win the big game. Didn't beat Michigan. Never beat Michigan. Couldn't beat Georgia.
Remember the camp that he didn't go to?
Right. Didn't go to the Manning camp. All of this talk about that player this time last year, And he has become not only, and I guess time will tell on that still, but if you're giving me one young quarterback to build my team around right now, currently in the NFL, or anybody that you can get, I'm going with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a player that took a team that won 3 games for 3 straight years and won a division championship with a first-year head coach and a home playoff game.
I'd be proud to have Trevor Lawrence as my
I
quarterback.
think he's a good quarterback.
I think you're way underselling him. He plays for the Jags. The Jags have not been a very successful franchise. They're one of the losingest franchises
They got
in
a
the
ton
last
of
20
weapons.
years.
They got a ton of weapons on offense.
Well,
I'm on your side, by the way.
I just
man.
believe that you're selling him short, and I believe he will become a great quarterback.
Please hear what I'm saying, though, too. And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. What I'm saying is he isn't this transcendent, surefire
Not yet.
number 1 pick that everybody said he was going to be around this dead period of time 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm just kind of talking about the period we're in where all these statements are made on players like Lawrence or like Caleb Williams or like C.J. Stroud. You got to be very careful kind of what information you kind of grab and hold on to when it comes to a player, because everybody, it feels like, is just saying a bunch of words. I'll be totally honest with you. It just feels like people are saying words about these players. But just while we're having the Trevor Lawrence conversation.
Yeah, it's for Matt, but also Ryan is. I think what Ryan is trying to say as it relates to Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence is supposed to come in and take the NFL by storm. He's supposed to come in and be Peyton Manning. He's supposed to come in,
or at least that's what I was told.
Exactly, and that's what he's saying. He's saying it hasn't been the case because he's finished 3 years, correct?
Yeah.
He had the 1 year with Urban Meyer, who we'll give him a pass for. He had the 1 year where he did get to the playoffs, and he did come back after throwing 4 interceptions.
And last year he was hurt.
True, the knee. He had the knee.
And he played the whole damn year, even though he probably shouldn't have played the last 4 weeks.
He's tough. I'm just thinking. I think Matt Ryan is saying it should have shown already if he's going to be this transcendent quarterback. Yeah. But to your point, I agree with you. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I think it is going to take him longer than
I believe the Jags will have a great comeback year this year.
Kool-Aid, can you give me a little beat real quick, nice and soft, because I'm going to have a little fun with these guys for a couple of minutes, okay?
Pause by that, by the way.
Pause. Okay.
Nice soft beat, right?
Okay, nice soft beat. Pause. All right, here we go. You and your Trevor Lawrence love, okay?
Okay, here we go.
For the 2024 season, you can have A or B. B is Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
B's always Trevor Lawrence.
B is Trevor Lawrence. For next season, you could have Josh Allen, A, or Trevor Lawrence, B.
Josh Allen, A.
You could have Tua Tagovailoa, A, or Trevor Lawrence, B.
Who's my offensive coordinator?
I'm taking B.
I'm taking B.
Okay, so that's one.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers or Trevor Lawrence.
Aaron Rodgers.
You can have Lamar Jackson.
Do you want me to answer, or are you just going to skip?
Yes. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. No, at this point, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. 2-2. Well, either way. You can have Lamar Jackson, or
that's easy.
You can have Trevor Lawrence.
New Era 8.
Okay. You can have Joe Burrow, or you could have Trevor Lawrence.
Joe Burrow.
Of course.
You can have C.J. Stroud, or you could have Trevor Lawrence.
I'll let you go first.
I'll take C.J.
I'll take
You
C.J.
can have
as well.
Anthony Richardson, or you can have Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'll take Trevor Lawrence right now, but I do love A-Rich's upside.
You can have Patrick Mahomes, or you can have Trevor Lawrence.
Next.
Just please complete the exercise.
Patrick Mahomes.
And you can you can have Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence.
Justin Herbert.
I'll take Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Most people would have agreed with
Most sane
everything that
people,
you said. So that would be 1, 2,
right.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks in the AFC that you would take more than Trevor Lawrence.
Don't insult me. Don't ask me any more then.
Okay. You would take 5 quarterbacks. You would take 5 quarterbacks. Braylon would take 7 quarterbacks more than Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
In the AFC, you would take 5 more quarterbacks in the AFC than Trevor Lawrence.
I would have took Deshaun Watson before last season started.
So, excuse me, is that a transcendent generational talent?
He's got a point.
Not yet.
Stop it.
It took Joe Burrow 1 year. We knew. Like when you like that, Maz, like even though Peyton had 28 interceptions, we knew Peyton was gonna be one of them dudes. Like you knew Patrick Mahomes the day his first pass, he was gonna be one of those dudes. Like when you're supposed to be a dude,
all right,
Dan Marino.
Yeah, of course. There's only one Dan Marino.
I'll ask this for Dan Wood. Okay, would you take Malik Willis or would you take?
Thanks.
I mean, say one bad take and
God, I wish I could just go back in time. God, I wish I could go back in time.
It's fine.
That's fine.
I tell you,
I'll take Trevor Lawrence, Dan.
Right. All right, we're going to take a break. Come right back. Much more. Dave Birkett coming up in about 40
I don't think I care for you,
minutes from now. Maz, I love you, but you said you would take 5 quarterbacks in the AFC over Trevor Lawrence.
Well, look at the
right
5
now.
I'm picking.
Well, again.
Joe Flacco.
But again, you're comparing him to a transcendent Peyton Manning type player. That's who you told me he was going to be.
I did?
The experts
in
this dead period. That's what I'm saying. Be careful about what you know. How about that, Soroki's?
I know, right? I'm asking.
We'll tell you about Soroki's in a little bit, but first message from Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, Woodward Sports has a brand new morning show. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. You can join myself. That's Detroit Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every single morning as we cover all of Detroit sports. Sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network. That is Woodward Sports.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party, it's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by, and there are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today to join or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Before we move on to sports, we have to continue talking about this situation. Braylon, hero status.
He's like Bobby Brady. Remember the Brady Bunch when Bobby was a hero?
I remember that.
He got a big head, by the way.
I feel like mine can't get any bigger, man. No pause behind that either. I think that I'm trying like to be humble and move on, but like things keep happening. The president of the YMCA called me today and said that he was getting together with the Farmington Hills mayor and the Farmington mayor. Give me a proclamation day in like 2 days and give me the key to the city.
When's that gonna happen? We got to get the news there.
For sure.
We got to do our show from there.
That's what we should do. So he says he's gonna call me in 48 hours and he's gonna give me the details to make sure that people could be there, et cetera, et cetera. So
please let me know about that. I'd like to get a camera crew out there and everything like that.
You were like the first person to call when it happened almost.
Yeah, you were. I was. And I was like, what?
I'm like, I'll have to tell you guys when I get in. But yeah, so it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, Ryan, I may have to take you up on that. I'm not spending any more money in Farmington Hills.
No, you should not ever buy another meal in Farmington Hills. That's for sure.
Just jokes, ladies.
I just had something great to say, and it just left my mind again.
About Farmington Hills?
About Braylon and this YMCA thing. When the village people call you, then you're really going to make it.
All that for that?
You get it? YMCA?
I get it.
You get it? All right, I'm done.
Maz, you know you my guy, so that you my guy, I'm not going to say anything.
All right.
I'm going to let you breathe on that.
You could be the cop.
What were we going to talk? Were we going to do your thing now, Maz?
No, you were going to continue with...
Then I have to walk around and keep saying pause, man.
Yeah, either way, now you made me lose my train of thought. So in the meantime, we're going to do this.
Off the rails.
Let's do my thing.
Okay, we can do your thing now. Go ahead.
Okay, hear me out, guys.
I love it.
Lions pick 29th.
Okay.
We know we're hosting the draft. And Ryan has been huge on saying, of course, they got to use their first-round pick.
I will quit. I said
we're not going to trade. Yeah, I want you to take that back now. By the way,
we'll see what happens.
Can we take that back?
We'll see what happens.
Would you consider, if you were Brad Holmes, I think this is a no-brainer. If Kansas City came calling and
trade
said,
29 for L'Jarius
we want
Sneed.
the 29th pick, and we'll give you L'Jarius Sneed and maybe a late-round pick, I think you got to make that deal.
I'm taking the deal. I'm taking the deal because and this is my estimation. You're looking for a DB. You're looking for the best DB or the best D lineman at that pick, correct? If they stay at that pick, Kool-Aid, that's fair to say. You're looking for the best DB or the best defensive lineman that is available at that pick. Meanwhile, L'Jarius Sneed is already an elite corner. He's already become an all-pro corner. He's already a two-time Super Bowl winner with the Kansas City Chiefs. You saw what that defense was last year, obviously Chris Jones, but he added to that. He was locking guys down. You watch the Super Bowl. You watch the Super Bowl. The receivers couldn't get open. You mean to tell me I already know what he is? You mean to tell me I don't have to draft a guy like we did 3-4 years ago out of Ohio State and have to see if he's the guy? Ryan, he's already the guy. Yeah, you can have my pick 29. Give me L'Jarius Sneed. It is what it is. Like, he's a guy that's ready right now. You're going to get some solid years out of him. He's 27.
Yeah.
Now, he's 27 and entering his prime. Maz, it's a no-brainer for me.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I would not do it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you
Shocking.
why. Right.
You better.
I'll tell you what, I would not do it because I would put everything this team has into signing Chris Jones. It's just, I would rather pay Chris Jones free agent money.
You cheated.
Than trade an asset away and acquire Sneed and have to pay Sneed. You know, and it's just the way I feel about it. I think this.
You did watch the playoffs, right?
I did watch the playoffs.
Okay. You watched the last game of the year?
I did.
I think you were at that game with me.
I was.
Who played quarterback for the Vikings that day?
Nick McMullen.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins? How much did he throw for?
Nobody could get to him.
484.
The following week was Matthew Stafford. What did he throw for?
357.
And then the following week, Baker Mayfield threw for how much?
368.
And the following week, Brock Purdy did what?
He gassed him at the end when it mattered.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So we talked a little bit about this yesterday.
Good job, Maz.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday, and I keep going back to the Chicago Bears example of Montez Sweat. Prior to Montez Sweat in Chicago, the Chicago Bears were 2-7, giving up 25 points per game. After Montez Sweat, they were 5-3 and gave up 16 points per game. That is 10 full points less than they gave up with him than without him. 2-7 without him, 5-3 with him. I just think when you have somebody like that, a disruptor on your defensive line or along the end, that is how you help your back end. And whether it's drafting a player at defensive back. Now, listen, full disclosure, whatever Brad Holmes decides, he has earned the benefit of the doubt where maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just using an example. I don't know a defensive back in the NFL that has made more of a difference to his defense than any particular dominant defensive lineman makes on their particular defense.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. The last time that existed, his name was Darrell Reeves. He was one of my teammates. That doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But for the sake of this argument, Ryan Ermanni, Mr. Difficult over there, like if the Kansas City Chiefs call us and they say, look, this is what the deal is, this is what the play is, then in that moment, we don't know what the Chris Jones deal is going to do. We don't know who's going to. I do. 100%.
Let's come back into reality. They're not signing Chris Jones.
And you think it's realistic to sign L'Jarius Sneed?
Of course.
Or trade for him?
Of course.
But this is what's already on the table. L'Jarius Sneed has asked, and this is why I imagine it was so good. L'Jarius Sneed has already asked to look for different teams because they franchise him, but he's asked to look for different teams for a trade. And the Lions are one of the teams that are interested in the trade because of people that L'Jarius Sneed, probably his agent, leaked information. It's 6 teams, Maz, and I think the Lions were the last team that were mentioned. But we know that that's on the table. We know that that's a possibility, and we know what L'Jarius Sneed can bring and help, man. I like it. Because at the end of the day, he's 27. You're talking about a guy that is going to sign a deal. He's going to sign a big deal. But by being so young, he'll be able to start working with you guys in year 4 or year 5, and you start to negotiate down as he gets older, as he becomes a staple for this team. I think it would be, in the long run, I think it'd be a really good deal. You're getting a guy in his prime that you can probably have for the better part of the next 6 years or so, and if you play your cards right, those last 2 years, they can be very favorable to you. I like it.
Back in 2014, the Lions made a choice. They could only keep 2 out of 3 guys. Ndamukong Suh, Matthew Stafford, and Calvin Johnson. They picked Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. And Ndamukong Suh played his last game when they robbed us in Dallas. He cried at the podium. He went and made money in Miami. This kid, Sneed, is looking at the Chiefs. Who would want to leave the Chiefs? Nobody. But he's looking at him, and he's like, they can only afford me or Chris Jones. They're going to pay Chris Jones. So I got to go out and make my mark somewhere else. Why the hell wouldn't you want to come here? For the 29th pick, and you look at every mock draft, and we'll have Dave Birkett on here in a little bit. Every mock draft, nobody knows what you're going to do. You might take an offensive lineman at 29. You already going to you have, how many picks does he have in the top 90?
4.
4.
4 of the top 92, I think.
He's going to be able to plug the holes he needs. Why not go out and get a kid that's already proven, and he's young, and this is his first big deal? Why not go get him?
Well, it's a great question. And Maz, you weren't here yesterday, but feel free to comment on this. We were talking about what kind of contract would a guy like Chris Jones command in the open market.
$28 million?
Jeremy Fowler said the price for the Chiefs is about $27-28 million.
That was a guess.
The price on the open market
30.
is probably 30, or maybe even if you get into some sort of bidding war, higher than that. Aaron Donald is going to make the most money of any defensive lineman next year at $31 million. So if you're an NFL team, are you offering Chris Jones more than $31 million to play for you? So the number is probably around $30 million for Chris Jones. It doesn't feel like something that Brad Holmes would do. It doesn't feel like that's something that would be a move that Brad Holmes has made historically either.
If you go back in the chat, Matt Broder made a great point. And you want to read it, or do you want me to bring it up?
Please, go ahead.
Let me bring it up. Matt Broder kind of agreed with you. Let's see where it is. Here it is. He's like, nothing. He said, no Sneed. They signed Mosley to a 1-year deal. Signed Stephon Gilmore to a 1-year deal. Draft a corner at pick 29 or 61 that can play on the outside. Pay Chris Jones $30 million, win a Super Bowl. That's from Matthew Broder, our guy.
But at the same time, like, see,
that's his opinion too.
No, 100%. I don't have a problem with that opinion. I actually like that opinion. But your scenario, and the way my ears heard it, I didn't hear anything about Chris Jones.
Right.
Like, I didn't hear anything about Chris Jones.
I don't believe
once
he can come
again,
here.
it goes back to what we said. If it's Chris Jones, the answer is always going to be Chris Jones. I want to do everything for Chris Jones because I agree with everything you said. I agree with every number you said. But Maz and I don't live in la-la land.
Right.
So I don't believe Chris Jones is real. So that's why I'm not even thinking Chris Jones. So that's why I'm thinking the option on the table, which is that one.
It feels to me, and again, this is whatever Brad Holmes decides to do. I trust Brad Holmes. He has earned the right to do whatever he sees fit with this football team, obviously, and who am I to criticize him? However, it feels very backwards. It feels like you're putting it's like you're building a house and you put the windows in before you finish the inside.
Gotcha.
You know, or it feels like you're putting the bricks on the outside of the house before you lay the floor down, or say whatever the analogy you want to use. It feels like you're putting lipstick on the pig prior to buying the pig. Because also,
so you want a D-line before you want a DB.
Well, again, one of the things that I'll give Broder the credit for this, since it's in the chat. Every great cornerback has a great defensive tackle or a great defensive lineman in front of him. Tell me somebody who has not. The guy in the Jets that's fantastic on the defensive line.
Yes, Quinnen Williams is in front of him.
Williams.
I understand that, but
he's got Sauce.
100%.
Yes. But Sauce has Quinnen Williams.
Correct.
Too, you know, I mean,
100%. That's if you want to play that game, yes. It's the professional. It's the NFL.
Right.
It's the pros. Like every team is gonna have at least one defensive lineman that you can point to and say, this is the reason why this defensive back is good. And you're absolutely correct. But with that being said, if we're talking Chris Jones, gotta get Chris Jones. I want to get Chris Jones. But if that's not a possibility, Maz, which it isn't, like you and I know, then I think you're trying to find this DB in the draft. You're trying to see if pick 29 ushers you in Kool-Aid McKinstry or one of these DBs that are out there. And they don't necessarily pan out. They aren't necessarily the move. How many times have you seen the team? We did the same thing with Ohio State. I can't even think of his name anymore. I feel terrible. The DB from Ohio State.
Jeff Okudah.
And Jeff Okudah. We draft this guy. He's supposed to be the end-all be-all. He's from DBU. Well, he wasn't DBU here. Meanwhile, you got a guy that is ready to go. You got a guy that can play already. You need DBs. I know we signed Emmanuel Mosley. What did he tear his ACL last year? And the other ACL the year before that. But this is what we're counting on. We're counting on Cam Sutton, who's still in the contract. But this is what we're counting on. You got a guy in L'Jarius Sneed that's ready to go and rock and roll right now. I'm taking that deal.
It's a really interesting topic because there are a lot of defensive linemen out in the free agent market. ESPN put out their top 100 free agents today, and you look at Chris Jones 1, Christian Wilkins number 3 on this list.
He's a monster.
Danielle Hunter is 4 on this
We've
list.
We've seen him firsthand twice.
Chase Young 7 on this list. Leonard Williams, defensive tackle.
Don't want either one of those
Hassan
guys.
Reddick
Bryce
from
Huff,
Philly's body.
9 on this list. But I just of the free agents. The top 100, according to ESPN.com, 5 of the top 9 are defensive linemen. So it does feel like you could shop for a defensive tackle a little bit, address your defensive tackle in the free agency period, and then, in the draft, go make what you do greater. Whether it's offensive line, wide receiver, shop a little bit that way too.
Why can't you do both?
You can.
Like, you have money. Now you have extra money, man, as we talked about. There's extra $30 million under cap. You have money. You have 48. You got an extra 30. Why can't you get a defensive tackle and get L'Jarius Sneed?
Don't forget, everyone's got that extra money, though.
But this is
Someone's
true.
going to get overpaid. They always get overpaid. A guy like Chris Jones, if he don't stay in Dallas, if he don't stay in Kansas City, he's going to get overpaid.
He's going to get over $31 million.
Right, and we won't be that team.
Are you saying Chris Jones to Dallas? Is that what you're saying?
It might be. Why not?
It does feel like
that feels like a team that would do something
scary.
like that. Yeah.
Well, let me ask it to you guys like this.
Can you imagine Micah Parsons with Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Of the available players out there, whether it be by trade or by free agency, let's start there. Trade or free agency, guys that are available. If you could have one player, if you believe you're one player away from winning a Super Bowl, who is that player?
But we keep answering this. It's Chris Jones.
Then you got to go get that guy.
I agree.
Maz, who would be your guy? Let me ask you that. You could have one player in the free agency or by trade.
I don't want to be boring, but yeah, that's the guy.
Then you got to go get that guy.
I know.
It's kind of how I feel about it, or you don't got to go get him, but I feel like you have a better opportunity to win the Super Bowl next year. And who knows? Are you one player away from the Super Bowl? In many cases, yeah, you are.
They were against San Francisco.
You are one player away from the Super Bowl, and really a player and a half if you want to count kicker. And today, Kai Fairburn
he re-signed
with Houston, which was a guy that I was hoping that the Lions would go get in the offseason.
We're not a field goal kicking team, I guess.
Yeah. But he's out there. Ray H in the chat says L'Jarius Sneed. If there's one player he could get, it's him.
But I brought it up because we've been talking for weeks how the Lions are hosting this draft and how they have to pick at 29. And the more I think about it, it's 11:30 at night. Who gives a damn by then? Those 300,000 people down in Detroit, I don't even know if they can last to 11:30 at night for that pick.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Drunks find a way, buddy.
I'm just saying. If I have to trade that pick, I'm trading.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to trade the pick, let me say it like this. If you have to trade the pick for L'Jarius Sneed, yes, you trade the pick for L'Jarius Sneed. If you're trading the pick to acquire another second-round pick, you're not doing that.
Well, maybe you are.
In my opinion.
Maybe you are.
I don't think you are, personally.
What could you get for a 29th pick overall?
It depends what player is there and who wants them.
No, I was saying in terms of...
There might be a quarterback there for somebody.
I could even see it trade up, if anything else.
Michael Penix.
Right? I could see a trade up in this draft.
I mean, this would be... They've done it 2 years in a row. This would be year 3.
There are so many good players in this draft. It is filled with offensive linemen in this draft. If you are in the market for an offensive lineman, this is the draft for you. And while we're here talking about offensive linemen, we've got Dave Birkett coming up in about 20 minutes from now. He put out his mock draft today, and among the players, I'll just get right to it. Birkett in the mock draft has the Lions. Let me just pull it up right here. I apologize, guys, doing this on the fly. I forgot I printed it out and don't have it, and I'm a hard copy kind of guy.
My bad.
So at 29,
first day back.
At 29, no, it's my fault. At 29, he's got the Detroit Lions selecting Jackson Powers Johnson, a center from Oregon. And here's the write-up that Birkett has. I had Powers Johnson going to the Steelers in my first mock, and frankly, I didn't expect him till 29. Didn't expect him to last until 29. When I sat down to do this one, he's bigger than your average center at 6'3", 328, and as nasty as he was at center last year, winning the Remington Award. He played guard early in his career. With Jonah Jackson and Graham Glasgow free agents, and given Frank Ragnow's health, he would be a steal for the Lions at 29. I love that pick.
Remember, Ragnow played 2 positions as well until he finally settled in at center.
I absolutely love that pick. Make what you do great, greater. And it's the philosophy that I think many of us had last year going into the draft. It's why I wanted offense, if you remember.
I do.
And, whether it's wide receiver, they need a wide receiver. But this team's identity is the offensive line. Everything that they do comes from the offensive line. And you do have 2 free agents at starter. You do have a center that, for as great as he is an absolute bulldog. But he is coming to the end. I just don't know how much longer. You look at Jason Kelsey.
No. Correct.
Right? And, how much longer could Frank Ragnow do what he does? And it feels like if you have the ability, Braylon, to go get a guy like that now, I would improve that offensive line.
No. I let you talk me into it last year, and it worked out. You got your Jahmyr Gibbs. He blew up. You know what? Praise Ryan Ermanni. I give you credit. You do what you do great. Last year, you got offense. You got Sam Laporta, and you got Jack Campbell. I get it. You got to go defense. What did Maz just talk about? We watched those last 5 games of the season. They were horrible. You're on pins and needles watching. Because as good as the offense is playing, because the offense is a catalyst for us, that defense, oh my God, it's nobody in the middle. It's nobody on the right side to help Aiden Hutchinson out. It's nobody in the back end. You got to draft defense this year. You have to. Stay away from the offensive tackles. This is a highly touted draft. You got 4 picks inside the top 93. Get one in 3rd round. Do the Brad Holmes magic and find something in the fourth and the third, or add some picks,
or sign somebody,
or sign somebody. Like, do it that way. Offense is intact. That defense last year.
Amen.
Look,
get me another linebacker, get me a DB, and get me a D lineman.
For what Aaron Glenn had to work with, you got to give the man. He's the Michigan Miracle Man, like they used to talk about Gordon Bombay, the Minnesota Miracle Man. That's a Mighty Ducks quote for you guys out there. But you got to help that defense. I mean, you got to help the offense by helping the defense. Got to get a DB, got to get a DB, got to get an interior, got to get another guy on the outside, because it may not be in the it may not be in the free agency. Brad Holmes has hinted that, look, we're building through the draft. Dan Campbell has echoed those same sentiments. So let's say they want to stay going through the draft defense. Now it's time to draft some more defensive guys. Put the same eyes you had on the last year. When you saw Brian Branch, use those same eyes and give me 2 more DBs and give me some interior defensive line help. I'm telling you, no offensive line, not at pick 29. I got to push back on that.
Aaron Glenn picked his poison last year. He's like, okay, we're going to let Jefferson beat us. He's going to get 200-plus yards.
Mike Evans.
We're going to have Mike
Puka
Evans
Nacua.
beat us. We're going to let Puka Nacua beat us. We're going to let, what's his name, on San Francisco.
Debo and Brandon Ayuk.
Debo and Ayuk destroyed him. But they picked their poison on defense. So they knew they were going to get torched. You got to put that fire out. It's got to be all defense this time. It's got to be.
Can I ask you, can we agree on something right now? None of us can feel a strong opinion about this or any mock draft until we see what Brad Holmes' shopping list is next Wednesday.
Correct.
Okay. You know, I mean, I feel like
we're a week away.
I feel like I'm not even as strong. Like I don't even have. I like the addressing of the offensive line, because I do feel it is the team's identity, and they do have to address it. But because of the calendar in the NFL, and the NFL does this beautifully, they lay out their schedule. And you will know exactly what your needs are come April 25th through the 27th based on what you do a week from today. Next Wednesday, it's when the free agency period opens up. And I just think I'm curious to see how Brad Holmes attacks it. What is his first level of priority? Is it, getting a defensive lineman? Is it adding a wide receiver? I think a wide receiver that would fit perfectly on this team right now, to be honest with you. Calvin Ridley, fine. I would go back to the well and sign DJ Chark. I thought Chark was really nice for this team a year ago. And you don't need that alpha. You
health issues, though.
We got Donovan People-Jones.
I think the big thing is health issues for me with DJ Chark. He was injured when he was with the Jaguars before he came here. He was injured. He missed 6 games when he was here, and then he got injured when he left. So injuries why I'm
I think DPJ could be a guy here. I do believe he could be a guy.
He doesn't do it for me. I love him and I love his family.
Right.
I love DPJ.
Bray, what do you think about him?
But he's okay.
I would be interested in giving him a real look, and the reason why I would is because, like I said, when we talked about this, he actually was a number 1 in Cleveland. Like he spent time as number 1. He's had over 800 yards, I think, twice or so. So this guy that can make plays, and you're not asking him to be a number 1. You're not asking him to be a 2, because that's what you want Jameson to be for you guys. So
he's supposed to be a 1.
True. I mean, we that's the guy we got to work on. We got to see what happens with that. But with DPJ, I want to give him a chance. I'm give him a camp. Get him in the camp and see what they can do in not training camp, but OTAs, mini camp. See how it goes. But if he's clicking, I mean, he's a guy that you can trust. I like him. I mean, Ford Field's legitimately 5 minutes from where we went to high school at. If anything, it's about the story.
Maz, we were dying up here yesterday, and I don't know if you saw this, but we were going through this Jordan Reed 2-round mock draft for ESPN.com. Can I just tell you who he had the Lions taking?
Oh, God.
Jerzon Newton. In the first write-up of Jerzon Newton, he's a defensive tackle from Illinois. Newton had foot surgery back in January.
That sounds right.
I said, this guy's pegged in Detroit.
He's a Lion.
Player.
Second round.
Second round. Cam Hart, cornerback, Notre Dame. He was out with.
I guess we have a reputation, huh? And we signed Mosley back. Mosley played 1 play.
Oh, 2 plays.
2 plays. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Two plays.
All right. Both knees have been hurt. Let's go.
Oh my God. It was so funny. We were like, Maz would fall off his chair right now.
Side note, I talked to your boy 2 days ago. Shout out to my boy Jimmy Valou, who
Oh,
just had his
Jimmy.
gallbladder removed.
Oh,
my
Jimmy
God.
V.
Jimmy V, man. I'm
Get better.
glad he went and got checked up. He he nipped it in the bud before it could get worse.
Good man,
So
Jimmy.
He's at the house chilling, probably watching the show. Just want to say, hope you get well soon, my guy.
Hey, when I was walking in here today, there was a guy stopped at the red light, puts his window down. Mass, love you guys at Woodward Sports. Love your show. I'm the sushi chef over. Is it Adachi?
Oh, yeah.
Adachi, Matt. Shout out to Matt. Big fan of Woodward Sports.
Love Adachi.
He's like, come on by. I'm going to take good care of you guys.
Oh,
I don't
man.
eat sushi, but I'll go with you.
He always
I'll go with
does,
you.
man. We go there quite a bit. He's
What else
he's
do they got
awesome.
over there? Can I eat anything over
yeah,
there?
you'd love it.
All
You'd
right.
love it. There's
Okay.
plenty of food for you. Guys, going to take a little pause in NFL, and I do want to get to college. We're going to talk to Dave Birkett coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes from now, somewhere in that time range. So stay with us. Hour number 2 next. Nick Saban reveals why he really retired.
Ooh.
And I think all of you people that said age owe me an apology. We'll do that next. But first, a message from woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab. Maz, get ready for premiere.
Got it. I'll be ready, Pete.
Absolutely. Get ready, Maz, for that. Affordable, comfortable, new Detroit sports wearables. Hats, hoodies, tees, anything in between, everything in between. Men, women, babies, any size. We've got it for you. Go to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Maz?
Oh, Premier Pet Supply. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices. They got nutritionists to answer all your questions about all of your pets, and they got everything there at Premier Pet Supply. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. It's premierpetsupply.com.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, canceling.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey, gang, want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams, an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's open 7 days a week. You could walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. And we are so happy to have our good friends down the street, Soroki's, on board with us here at Woodward Sports. When I started working at Woodward Sports back in 2021, the very first thing I did was drive down Woodward. I stopped into Soroki's and I got a slice. And I said, this place is going to be a place I visit quite a bit coming from Fox 2 over to Woodward Sports.
Sandwiches, salads.
Fantastic.
I stop there once a week at least.
Fantastic. What's better than crispy chicken and pizza while watching your favorite team play? Let me tell you about Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. Food is amazing. Locations popping up all over Metro Detroit. Perfect takeout option as well. Hand-breaded fried chicken, New York pizza, fresh salads, sides, and more. Check out their full menu and find a Soroki's nearest you at Sorokis.com. That's Sorokis.com. Soroki's and Woodward Sports.
They got great soda too.
Absolutely.
Great soda fountain.
Maz, I know you guys are like this, you guys being numbers guys as it relates to betting. Did you see the Cavs and the Celtics last night, Ryan?
I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
They were plus 4,000 to start the fourth quarter, was the Cavaliers. They were
Wow.
The Cavaliers were down 23.
Are you serious?
They won.
Oh my God! I saw that they won. This Dean Wade
it was
like going crazy.
It was 9.
I didn't realize what the score was when I flipped over. It was a close game when I flipped over.
I think it was 9 minutes and 54 seconds left in the fourth. It was plus 4,000.
Wow!
And they were up. They were down 23, and they came back and won.
Did you hit that?
Nah, I told you once football season's over, I'm done.
You didn't mess with that.
Nah, I'm done.
I'll tell you what about the Cavaliers.
Uh-huh.
They got themselves a nice little ball club over there.
Oh God!
They've been good for the last 2 years.
They're going to surprise some people. They are going to surprise some people.
And this was after they let Colin Sexton go. I was like, whoa, but you got Donovan Mitchell.
Kool-Aid, you think they got a chance to win a couple of playoffs?
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, they might, man. You know, since they got Donovan Mitchell, that's a player that I know a lot of Detroit Pistons
He's in the
fans
MVP
probably
running.
hate to hear that name because we passed on them, but yeah, Cavs, man, they got a decent team.
I'm saying the Knicks did.
That's right, no doubt. East is wide open. You never know with Milwaukee coming on now with Doc Rivers. They're starting to play some good ball. Big one tonight. They've got the Golden State Warriors Golden State, I think.
Did you see Kool-Aid, who was it that beat the brakes off of Golden State? Oh, it was the Celtics.
Yes.
It was like 120 to 60 at one point or something like that.
I think the final score was 144 to 88.
They were 50 at half.
Yeah, crazy, man.
At 50 at the half, it's over.
What, they set the whole team out?
It's over in Golden State.
Steph played. They were just done. Bad scheduling spot. They didn't want to be there.
Over.
Guys,
Andrew Wiggins left again.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot, man. That poor guy.
What is it, though?
Well, I mean,
they never deconfirmed.
Dude, with speculation is that his wife had a kid with his best friend, and
you know that got broke first last year,
and it was under the belief that it was Andrew Wiggins' kid for a number of years,
Very
and then
sad.
you find out.
I hope that ain't true.
That will destroy you, and it will destroy any human being.
They never deconfirmed that, and then it went away, and now all of a sudden he's back. Like, it's like, man.
Yeah, man.
He got a championship, at least.
Man. Guys, I did want to get to this college football if I could in the time leading up to Dave Birkett. Nick Saban quit because of college football's current state. I said that when it happened, and I got hammered for it. Nick Saban quit because...
I believed it.
You did, but I'm talking about the audience, the listeners, the viewers, people. Nick Saban didn't quit because he's 72 years old. He retired. 72 is old enough. Big expose on ESPN.com today. Here's some quotes from Nick Saban. I was really disappointed in the way that our players acted after the game, talking about the loss to Michigan. You got to win with class, you got to lose with class. And then showing your bleep off and being frustrated and throwing helmets and doing that stuff. He goes on to say, I thought we could have had a hell of a team next year, and then maybe 70 to 80% of the players you talk to, all they want to know is two things. What assurances do they have
Show me the money.
that I'm going to play because they're thinking about transferring, and how much money are you going to pay me? So I'm saying to myself, maybe this doesn't work anymore. It's almost exactly as I said it was.
Who wants to take orders from a 16-year-old?
Nobody wants to coach college anymore. when you have driven Nick Saban away from the sport, and I know you're going to get a bunch of guys, well, the playing field is now level. Nick Saban doesn't have an advantage. I know those comments are coming, and Nick Saban
and
was
they are true.
And perhaps, I don't know. I just think the SEC has better athletes, too.
Yeah, they pay him more.
Well, whatever the case may be. I don't know. College football to me, I don't want to say is dead. College football was here for me, and the NFL was here. Now the NFL is here, and college football is off the screen. It's just kind of how I feel about it. I have no interest in college football anymore. I don't want to say no interest.
That's until the spring game.
I don't even really. My love for the sport is totally null and void.
I get it.
And let me put it to you like this: if Michigan played and lost a game, I wouldn't sleep for a week. Now Michigan loses to Texas, let's say. Okay, great. What are we doing Saturday night? Who's playing next?
No, I hear you, man.
That's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm just judging on how I feel about it.
Your passion is dropped.
Gone.
It's gone.
Completely gone.
Michigan beats Texas, and their passion's right back.
I don't know.
Cap.
I don't know.
Michigan, because I understand you 100%
cap
right
or no
now.
cap? Let's bring it back.
I know, right? It is Wednesday.
I mean, if Michigan plays, I'm obviously going to root for them to win the game.
No, but I'm saying, like, it will take a major win, I think, to get you back on board. Like, right now, you think he did leave. Jim Harbaugh is gone. You think the magic is gone that is Ann Arbor. I kind of feel certain of that, too. They beat Texas, who I think is the best team in the country this year right now. I think Steve Sarkisian and his boys are probably deservingly the odds-on favorite to win. They beat them game too. Man, I'm right back. The passion is back for me. But to your point, it's just so many uncertainties with the sport. It just doesn't seem like, the kids are dialed in. The coaches are dialed in. You don't even have the coaches' names anymore around the board, around the college football, around the nation. You don't have the names, and it's just an interesting time. It's an interesting place. Like, I remember being a kid, man. I can tell you, when I was 12 years old, I could tell you who all the coaches were around the country. I could tell you Lou Holtz. I could break down what he was.
No legends
Where
anymore.
did he come from?
Zero legends. Coaching in college.
All things evolve. All things evolve. And as much as we say that we hate change, as much as we say that we hate these things, we always get suckered and roped back into it. And I think this is going to be another chance. When the season happens, we'll get slowly.
I hope you're right, because that's how much I love college football.
Because I hated everyone hated the BCS when it happened, and then college football took off and was the best thing ever for a long. Then it was this college football. Then people love the college football playoffs. I think it keeps evolving, and I think we hated it first, or we initially don't like it. But I didn't like the playoff system. Well, here I am. I'm like, okay, I don't mind 6 teams. I mean, you've gotten me to 6, but now it's 12. So I think
going to 14.
I think they're going to 12 this year. They're going to do something with this, because you got to think, this is the first year that we've seen 12 teams, Ryan Ermanni. This is the first year that USC is in the Big Ten, Ryan Ermanni. I think once August happens, you got college football. The video game is coming out for the very first time in freaking ever. I think NCAA is going to do something special, because they're on the clock. They're on the board, and a lot of eyes are watching.
It's not anti-Michigan, Mass. It's anti-college football.
I know that.
Yeah.
Listen, 10 years ago, let's just say Michigan won this championship 10 years ago. That's a job for life for Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh left here because not only the San Diego Charger job, the LA Charger job it's a great dream to win a Super Bowl. I understand that. He would not have had that itch had it not been for this way of the NIL. And he has spoken for the players. He has spoken up for the players and how Michigan does their transitional players, not their transactional NIL deals. And that's changing little by little as well. But like you said, there's no big names left. Dabo Swinney is left. You still have Brian Kelly. There's a few other guys with big names that are out there that
Kirby Smart.
Yeah, Kirby Smart, obviously. He's the king right now. But if Jim Harbaugh, he should never have left this job. This job, he should have died here in this job. God forbid. He should have ended his career here at Michigan. He had everything here. For him to leave this, he just looked at it and said, what else can I do here except go down? Because it's not the same anymore. It's just not. You got kids. Remember we slept in a tree house?
Quinn Nordine, he slept in his.
I talked to Quinn 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, the place kicker.
It ain't the same, man.
I talked to him 2 days ago.
It's not the same. I don't want some 16-year-old punk telling me what to do after what I have done in college football, the NFL, and then college football again.
Right,
and I
like
got some kid telling me what he wants.
If you're saying that to Nick Saban, who are you saying? What are you saying to Mike Loxley?
Correct.
What are you saying to Sharon Moore? What are you saying to insert head
Yes.
coach here? If you're talking like that to Saban,
Newsflash. You got some kids in college that making more money than the coaches that you're naming.
Yes.
no doubt.
Like whose houses are going to be bigger than Sharon Moore? I don't know. Oh, there is one coach though that I think is the only coach I believe is kind of building a legacy where he could be one of these iconic coaches. I think Steve Sarkisian is like it could be
Texas.
special. I think he could be special. He wins the national championship this year,
Well,
especially.
they gotta win it this year.
100%. You know, you win it this year, maybe next year you get 2 or
they
you get
still
the
don't
2.
have Arch Manning playing.
No,
Because they don't need him.
So they don't really need to win it this year.
They got
still
Quinn
got him
Ewers.
coming.
Well, Quinn Ewers is getting paid. Like Quinn Ewers, and Quinn
He's
Ewers
getting paid from 2 schools.
Ohio State
Yeah.
and Texas. But yeah, so I think Steve Sarkisian is a guy. He's had success everywhere he's been. So even USC, he has some success. So keep an eye out on him.
All right, guys, break time. We'll catch up with Dave Birkett. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Swiss.
Hang on there, Braylon, because I'm going to need you after this one. Good news and bad news in the world. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you over to my man, the hero, Bray.
Yo, you guys ready to win $50,000? That's right. This is Woodward Sports 50K Challenge. Enter for your chance to win. Register for your chance at Lady Jane's or Soroki's locations. Either or, it doesn't matter. You can pop on in right there, or you can go down the street to Soroki's. Or if you're watching right now, you can just scan the QR code that is on your screen. Enter today. It's going to be fun. Check it out, man. You can get $50,000. Richard, also, it's just bragging rights, man. We'll be talking a lot of this stuff. Maz, how have you done in these tournaments?
Lousy.
Last year, I got destroyed.
I want to get in the top 10 at least this year. I know I can't win, but I want to do it for pride.
5th.
I got a bunch of friends that are going to join, and they're going to have to cut me in.
Who
That's
won,
all it is.
you makes
Who
the
won
tournament.
last year?
I forgot his name, but
No
he won.
idea.
He won. We had him on the
Yeah,
show.
we had him on the show.
We had him
the
on the
tournament
show.
last year.
But also, this is sponsored to you by
UConn.
Glorious
They're going to go back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
UConn.
UConn.
Glorious Cannabis and Soroki's. Yeah, it's UConn.
All right, we'll be right back.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party, it's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Hey, gang. Gang and guys. That's my word salad for the day.
We're back.
Hey, gang. Hey, guys. Welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We're talking a little football. 50 days out from the NFL draft today in Detroit. Dave Birkett, Lions writer, Detroit Free Press, out with his mock draft today. We had some fun talking about that earlier in the show. Dave, how are you, my friend?
What up, fellas? How are you guys?
Hey, Dave.
Doing fantastic, my friend.
Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the time.
Got it.
Let me start with this, Dave. Before we get to the mock draft, 1 week from today, NFL free agency starts. What do you believe Brad Holmes' first order of business will be?
That's a tough one. I mean, I saw, obviously, the USA Today report that they were one of the teams that inquired on L'Jarius Sneed. I certainly think there's some interest in adding, let's call it an impact player like Sneed. Not that there's many of those guys left on the market. I don't know if that means they will do that. I've sort of been steered away from that thinking, and Brad hinted that they wouldn't. But they have enough cap room that you wouldn't rule it out. So let's just say that doesn't happen. I think it's ultimately, they got to get some help for that offensive line or re-sign one of their own guards, just because the line has been so important for the success of this team and the success of this offense. And I know that's not a sexy position like pass rusher or like cornerback, but you really look at what the Lions have done and why they've been so successful. The offensive line is a big reason why. And so you don't want to lose both Graham Glasgow and Jonah Jackson. And I do think they'll get one of those guys locked up. Do you believe the team has a preference? I mean, I feel like, to me, Glasgow is a guy that could play multiple positions. Would it be in that order, Glasgow, Jackson, or just either or? Well, I think, he's going to be cheaper too, and that's part of the equation, right? Like Taylor Decker's on his deal's expiring, so if you bring him back, he's going to need one new contract after this year. Frank Ragnow's one of the higher paid centers in the NFL. Penei Sewell probably get a deal, the next, let's call it 15 months or so, and that's a guy that he's going to be the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL. So you only have so much money to go around at so many positions. I think Glasgow's contract will be, shorter and for less money, and so, for those reasons, along with maybe the versatility, it probably fits better into what the Lions are trying to accomplish.
Dave, if you look at what Brad Holmes has done in free agency, take the draft aside, last year obviously a home run with David Montgomery, re-signing Glasgow. You signed CJ GJ to a one-year deal. A lot of guys on prove-it deals, and of course Cam Sutton, 3 years, $33 million, I believe it was last year, but really has not gone out and spent that huge salary on a big-time free agent. And look, we're all filling time up here in really a dead period of sports. You go out here and you make these proclamations. Oh, go get Chris Jones right now. You're one player away from the Super Bowl. Does percentage chance, let's put it like this. Let me ask you like this. Percentage chance Brad Holmes goes out and signs a big-name free agent to the type of money that a Chris Jones would get, or anybody else out there, the free agent that, you look at, 4 years, $100 million, or 4 years, $80 million, something like that. Do you see that signing happening?
I got a player.
No, that's not, Brad's MO. I mean, again, like if you're going to sign L'Jarius Sneed or trade for him, you're going to have to give him a big contract. I don't know exactly what he's going to cost, but let's call it, 4 years and $75 million, right, somewhere in that neighborhood for a cornerback, and he's a really good one. But I can't imagine, not that Chris Jones is going to hit free agency, but I can't imagine, as good a player as he is, that's the type of contract that they execute. Now, would we all like them to? Of course, but that, Brad has shown us in 3 years that's the Lions have signed. The players they've signed have been very team-friendly contracts in terms of time, or money, and so. The way that they're building this thing is through the draft, and they don't want to have any of these albatross contracts, and they've done a really good job of that so far. I do believe that, when the time comes that, Brad will be aggressive, and so maybe this is the time that they try to do that for a guy like a Sneed. But, there's only a handful of those guys that are even worth chasing on the open market.
Dave, what's going on, man? It's been a long time. How you been?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I can't complain, man. I'm doing well myself. Just getting older. With that said, I think that's all that happens, man. You just get older. This is about it, though. Quick question though. I think the wide receiver position is one of interest for me, not only because I played, because of what happened last year. Obviously, Josh Reynolds won't be rejoining the team. James Williams, you're trying to see if he's going to break out as a number 2. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be your stud as an all-pro wide receiver. What are they in the market for wide receiver-wise? Is it somebody they pick up in the free agency market, or is it somebody they draft? Because I definitely know they need another wideout, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you need let's call it a number 3, because they're counting on Jamison to really be that number 2 and that complement to Amon-Ra, this fall. And I think he's ready. I mean, at least you have to give him the opportunity to prove he can do it or not. And this is the year. I think they're looking for a guy like a Josh Reynolds. A guy that, I heard some numbers being floated around in Indy that Josh Reynolds, maybe he's going to get, $6 or $8 million or whatever he's hoping for. It seems a little steep to me. Ooh. But that caliber receiver, hey, Bray, man, the money's gone up, right, since you played it.
hey, listen, I'm 227 for the first time in about 5 years. I might have 10 plays left, man.
He's thinking about it. Red zone.
Khalif Raymond. All right, let's think about it like this, right? That Khalif Raymond signed a deal last year with the Lions. I think it was a 2-year contract for $10.5 million.
Wow.
And he, there's return duties that he has as well, but he's making more than $5 million a year, and he's your number 4 receiver and return man. So, if you talk about your number 3, right? Maybe that's I don't know what that comes to, $6 or $7 million a year. So that's sort of the going rate for some of those guys now. And it seems a lot. It's sticker shock because, man, that's the money that when they signed Marvin Jones when Kelvin Johnson left, it was a 5-year, $40 million deal, $8 million a year. And now you're paying that for your number 3 receiver. So,
but you know what, Dave? Not to cut you off, you want to make sure that guy's making $6 or $7 million, because what happened in the playoff? Josh Reynolds was put in key positions to make key plays for this team to get to the Super Bowl, and it didn't happen. I think that's why you're putting that $6-7 million premium on the third guy, because those three options, they get the ball in big moments.
That's right. They're on the field, even though we look at the roster and we say, it's Amon-Ra and it's Sam Laporta and Gibbs and J-Mo and so maybe he's down that list, but man, all those guys are not going to stay healthy all season. You are extremely lucky if they're all there in week 18 playoffs, whatever it may be. So I don't know that they're going to be big spenders in free agency at the receiver position, but they will add some sort of veteran, whether it's Josh Reynolds coming back or someone else. And then it's a good receiver draft. There's a ton of receivers that come out now, capable players, and so it certainly wouldn't surprise me if somewhere in the draft, in those first 4 rounds, let's say that Brad went ahead and added another receiver to the stable.
Hey, Dave, let me give you the situation that we talked about 20 minutes ago. You're at pick 29, your home team, you're picking in the draft, 300,000 people are downtown. If Kansas City says, all right, look, I got 2 teams that want Snead. One's offering me a high second rounder. Hey, Lions, you want him? It's going to cost you your 29th pick. If you're Brad Holmes, are you doing that deal?
Say that one more time, Az. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I cut out there
would you trade the 29th pick for Snead?
Yeah. Well, I would, because I'm a little more of man, this is the window that you got to take and you got to go for it. But I don't, looking at what it costs to get Jalen Ramsey, what it costs to get some of those cornerbacks, I think, maybe Snead can be had for a 2, because you got to remember you're paying him a really big contract too. And now look, the Lions 1, is that really a 2? How is that sort of valued?
Right.
So I would do it, because I think L'Jarius Snead is a really good player. I wrote this the other day. I know there's a healthy respect for him in the Lions front office. I know they think he's a good player. He fits what they want. He would really help that defense, right? I think you get a good cornerback that helps the pass rush, or you get a good pass rush that helps the secondary. So I would do it, because I think the Lions are Super Bowl contenders, and I think that helps them a lot. But I don't know how keen Brad would be on that.
I know, and I think we would all do that. As far as, you don't know what you're going to get at 29. You're taking a chance. They're not picking in the top 5 anymore, top 10. This is pick 29. It's going to go on at 11:30 at night on the big show. I mean, I don't know if I could wait that long to get an offensive lineman at that pick. God forbid. But I'm just saying, you got all this money. You freed up all this money, and I know they want to sign their own guys. But come on, man. You were 1 minute away from going to this freaking Super Bowl. 1 minute away from going to the Super Bowl. Make a splash, man. Why? What are you waiting for?
I hear you, Maz. I think, I did have a little bit of this discussion with someone in Indianapolis, and I think the counterpoint to that is like, look, if you're going to spend, let's just say $15 million, $20 million for the sake of argument on one player, right? That's going to be your big free agent expenditure.
Correct.
Would you rather do that, or would you rather get 3 players for $5 million? 3 good depth guys that are going to be that number 3 receiver type, number 2 cornerback type that are going to play, key moments for you and are going to be depth pieces because someone's going to get hurt. If you splurge on the one guy, well, when 2 other guys go down, maybe you don't have the necessary backup for it. Whereas if you take that, the spread it around approach, then when those guys go down, you're ready for it. And the Lions I think they've built a really good roster, a deep roster. It's young. And, part of it is, when you have those rookies cost controlled, like looking in the future when you're paying Aiden Hutchinson and Sewell along with St. Brown and Goff and all these guys that you're going to pay, like those guys on those rookie deals become more important. So it's a lot more complicated than, you and I and everyone else who wants this to happen, maybe, make it out to be. But speaking from my chair, not being in charge of the organization, I would do it because I think L'Jarius Sneed, could be a difference maker for this defense.
Listen, man, the salary cap's a joke. It's a joke. You got New Orleans a few years ago. I think they were minus $70 million, and they wound up signing players out of nowhere. I mean, you can manipulate the money.
Honestly, the cap doesn't even matter to teams. But what does is the cash spend, and every team has a budget. And if you're going to give Jared Goff a $200 million contract with, I don't know, $75 million guaranteed, whatever signing bonus he gets, and you're going to give Amon-Ra, St. Brown, a $110 million contract, and he's going to get half of that guaranteed, and a lot of that up front. Well, all of a sudden you're eating into not your cap, but you're eating into the money that you can actually spend this year. And I don't think the Lions are going to be really close with getting anything done on Aleem McNeil right now, but
that's fine.
They would know inside a lot more if they are going to spend on an Aleem McNeil or a Penei Sewell this offseason. And if that is the case, that's another huge signing bonus that's coming due. So all of a sudden, that's where it's not the cap that hamstrings teams. Typically, it's how much cash they have to spend in a given year.
You've never been to a Super Bowl. I'm dropping the microphone. You've never been to a Super Bowl. That's it.
Hey, Dave, let me ask you about. Let me ask you in the time remaining, and just 2 quick ones before we get out of here. And thanks so much for spending this time with us. About your mock draft, is there any position outside of quarterback that you would be shocked that they take? Because, for instance, I love the pick of the offensive lineman at 29 that you had, because that's what this team's identity is, and I'm a big believer. Make what you do great, even greater. And I would be fine if they take the player that you have going before the Lions pick, Keon Coleman, wide receiver, Florida State. Should Lions fans be shocked if the Lions take a wide receiver there?
Maybe not a wide receiver because it's a good receiver draft, and there are going to be some guys there. But I think that's, and we all know, right, Brad, best player available, position doesn't matter. So maybe it does shake out that way. But I think there'll be a comparable talent at a more important position or a bigger position of need, someone like an offensive lineman, because it's a deep offensive line draft too, or maybe someone on the defensive line. So, again, just taking the cues from how Brad has built, like, I think, I would put my money into those, those little sections on the roulette, table there. If I was a betting man, like maybe it's going to be an offensive lineman or maybe it's going to be a defensive lineman. I don't see tight end or linebacker or some of these other positions, but I guess they surprised us last year by doing it. I do think receiver, just based on, the strength, maybe that could be in play. But, if that was the case, maybe that would tell you something about what they plan for Jamison Williams and the 50-year option that they'll have to pick up after next season too.
Final question. You were in Indianapolis. What was the talk? What was the buzz about J.J. McCarthy?
Well, I left, just to be honest, I left, before he threw and before he even talked. So I was there. I got in Monday and I left Thursday. So I wasn't, privy to a lot of the JJ thing. But I know that, he was talking to some people about the quarterback market, just trying to figure out what Kirk Cousins was going to do. A lot of people in Indy thought, Cousins was going to leave Minnesota and Atlanta was the most likely landing spot. I wrote before my first mock draft, I had JJ atop, I don't know what I had him, 12th pick, first half of the first round, and I came away convinced, that's where he's going. Like, this guy there's a host of quarterback needy teams from 8 to 14 or whatever it is, and he's not going to get out of that group, and maybe he even goes higher, because I'll tell you the one thing that he's done a lot of teams value, and that's win. And I know he's maybe not as, he doesn't have as much experience as some of those other guys up top, hasn't thrown as many passes, but he's won a lot of football games, and he's done it the smart way, not a lot of turnovers, taken some of the easy money passes, but yet he has the big arm and he has the good athleticism to create plays on his own. So I do think JJ is pretty locked into that top half of the first round, and really it wouldn't surprise me if he kept climbing up draft boards as we get closer to the draft.
Yeah, JJ definitely had the quote, the dynamite drop of the whole combine experience. If you ask me, they asked him about his stats. He said, we don't focus on individual stats in Michigan. All we focus is on W's, and we had a whole lot of those.
I love him. I don't want him anywhere near Minnesota. I don't want him anywhere near Minnesota.
He's going to Minnesota.
He's going to Minnesota. Dave, thanks so much, guys.
That was a bar, as they say.
Subscribe to the Free Press. Great content there. Freep.com. Dave Birkett. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it, buddy.
Bing.
You got it, guys. Talk to you again.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it. Great stuff there.
Miss talking to my guy,
absolutely.
man.
It's great talking football with him. We're going to come back, talk more football. We'll go around the NFL with Maz next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. That dealership located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want, all GM brands under one umbrella: GMC, Buick, Cadillac, and Chevrolet. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And what happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house? It tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
That's right. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and by people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent ya.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey everybody, Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Dive into the fish and chips, their new Parmesan-crusted cod and the perfectly fried clam strip platter. How about the Big Boy must-try? It's the new mango iced tea. It goes perfectly with the popcorn shrimp, the shrimp Alfredo, and the shrimp stir-fry. And every day is a fish fry at Big Boy, especially Fridays. Check them out. All you can eat seafood buffet every Friday night at Big Boy.
And we love our partnership with Big Boy.
We
We
do.
appreciate them.
Can't wait for the new one to open.
Absolutely, down the street here in Woodward, on Woodward, I should say.
You see Big Boy on my desk every day? That's my logo on my fantasy baseball team.
How does that Big Boy survive?
He falls.
beating.
He stays together. He doesn't break.
Isn't his arm broken?
He don't care.
Back together?
He keeps coming back. He keeps coming back.
Tom Mazaway, shall we go around the NFL?
I don't see why not. I'm going to start you off with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has got Omaha Productions.
Omaha
does a lot of stuff. Obviously, they got the Manning cast, right? You got Eli and Peyton on Monday Night Football during college football.
By the way.
Guess who they might want to add?
Who?
Bill Belichick.
Ooh.
They are trying to woo Bill Belichick to Omaha Productions to not only do stuff with them on movies and video, but to possibly join the Manning cast. How about that?
You know why this would be great? You do realize where Omaha comes from. Eli Manning told the story last year where Omaha came from. Peyton took Omaha from Eli. Eli stole Omaha from Tom Brady and the New England Patriots when they played them one time. He took that count from him. So it would be full circle that Bill Belichick would work with Omaha Productions, which he and the New England Patriots created.
I mean, he's got to have a spot.
Yeah.
He's got to have a spot in this game.
I would love to hear him.
And did you see he is not thrilled with how he's portrayed in Dynasty?
I did not.
Yeah, he's really upset about how he's portrayed in Dynasty. And the NFL Films, who gave them all this Apple TV, all this footage for Dynasty on Apple TV Plus, they are mad at the way he's portrayed too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Well, what are they doing
I don't
to
know.
him?
Well, I mean, he just looks dumb.
Really?
Yeah. But again, that's
you.
That's what you did. You had that.
You created
that's
that.
how you were talking.
I guarantee if you get a bunch of footage of Bill Parcells, he's not gonna look dumb. Because how he carried himself, because he opened his mouth, because he was who he was, like Bill Belichick, and trying to not show people a lot, not tell a lot, keep a lot in, keep everything tight. This is what you created. Now this is what you look like. You look like a moron.
Episode 5.
I'm gonna have to watch episode 5.
I want to start watching.
Is the best to me because you see how these old school guys talk. Yeah. Bill Parcells, when he was the coach of the New England Patriots. Yeah. Bill Belichick standing on the sidelines talking to Tom Brady about all the new guys. Yeah. All the new guys they have after they won several Super Bowls, standing talking to Tom Brady about these new guys. I can't do it. I can't win with them. I can't get through to them.
Meanwhile, three more.
Right. I know, and it's just like the way those guys talk is it warms my heart.
Side note, you know who doesn't get credit, Ryan and Maz, is Bill Belichick for this. He gets credit for freaking everything else, and now we're starting to discredit him. He didn't get credit for this. Remember we always talk about his Cleveland tenure? Talking about he was a failure before Brady. The last time I checked, he made the playoffs with the Browns, and guess who he beat in the playoffs? Bill Parcells.
Right. And they go through that
he beat
too.
His mentor. So people forget about that.
Did he beat him with the Jets or the Pats?
He beat him when he was with the Jets. So
the Browns beat the Jets.
Browns beat the Jets.
I think it's so good. They go through Belichick with the Browns.
Starter.
He kind of ushered out Bernie Kosar. And
that's
then he
right.
comes to New England and kind of ushers out
No,
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
It's great. It's
Two
fantastic.
statues.
Yeah,
Now
I
listen,
can't wait.
that's a series I couldn't bring myself to watch because of my dislike for the Patriots. But if you're telling me I should watch that episode 5.
You love it because Parcells is involved all over
So
the
it's
place.
number 5
Yeah,
for Parcells.
right.
But is he all throughout the doc or just
no,
5?
each episode is its own episode.
Right, I got you.
Like there's an Aaron Hernandez episode 6.
Oh,
I
might watch that too.
Now that is a great episode because that
Robert
is something.
Kraft, you're telling me?
That
Yeah.
is something that the Florida didn't touch. Florida
University
30 for
of Florida.
30
Yeah.
with Urban Meyer and Tim
Yeah.
Tebow. They didn't really address that,
That
and
piece-
no other Patriots stuff really addressed the Aaron Hernandez. The footage that they have is really pretty insane too.
So 5 and 6. I won't watch
It's
those
really good.
because I just can't drag myself to watch anything about them.
Right.
I just can't. Any Super Bowl they're in, I don't record it. Like, if I see it recorded a Patriot thing, I just hit delete. Delete, because I just don't like the end.
2 more episodes will be dropped this Friday as well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
great.
Let me move
We got
on.
time to catch up.
Sounds like a good one. Cowboys, meanwhile, this is a duh moment. Of course, they are picking up the 5th-year option for
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
Duh.
He won't get to his 5th year before they redo his contract.
Micah Parsons could file a grievance arguing that he should be classified as a linebacker, but the reality is highly unlikely to play under the 5th-year option in 2025. Anyway, Parsons is eligible for an extension as early as this offseason, and there's no chance he will step on the field in 2025 without a record-breaking deal. 100% he's smart. He learned from Lamar Jackson. He heard what Ryan Ermanni said. You never step on the field without that deal. This is the only thing about Micah Parsons I want to see them do better is when teams run the ball, I need them to move him around a little bit more because it was easy. The teams that can run the ball, they ran right at Micah Parsons. They kind of took him out of the thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what the defensive coordinator, who is the defensive coordinator now? Oh, it's from Minnesota, Vikings, Zimmer.
Oh yeah, Mike Zimmer.
It's going to be interesting to see what Mike Zimmer does with Micah Parsons next year. Ryan, you're taking off on this?
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta make an appointment at 4:30, so I'm gonna step out. We'll take a break. Braylon and Maz will bring you home. We'll do that next, but first, a message from
Jack
Labrador.
Jack Labrador, guys. Hey, if you're teaching your kids how to play rock, paper, scissors, please teach them this version because 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play with Jack Labrador, jacklabrador.gg. Click on that QR code. It'll take you to how to play this game. $20 for the Champions deck. Get a deck of cards, a chip, 3 other games to play on this. You've got Motor City Showdown, Spell My Name, and Pink Slip. Thank you, Ryan. I hope you feel better. Pete, I just don't get it with you. Okay. It's a great game. Jack Labrador, make sure you tell him Woodward Sports sent you. And please, somebody, come here and take Pete off my hands. God bless.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. That's right, you get all of this, Braylon. You get all of this for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
With no commitment, bro. No matter where
That's
you
crazy.
are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today or join or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
I know I'm out here saving lives at the YMCA, but I do subscribe to Planet Fitness, and thank you. They gave me a black card membership for New Year's this year, and I have actually activated that thing. So you'll see me at Planet Fitness maybe here or there. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Welcome back to the last. Go ahead. What you say?
I said I think we got a live show coming up there too next.
We do actually. March 19th, the Planet Fitness in Redford Township.
Oh, Redford Township.
It's on Plymouth Road in Redford Township. Look at that. Boy, you see that recollection right there? I'm hot right now, man. I missed you, bud.
I know, man. I didn't get a real chance to celebrate with you because I was away. And just the story. I mean, I'm in Florida. And I'm on my phone, chilling out on the beach, and I'm seeing the Braylon story pop up every single news outlet. But the one that hits me, of course, the best is when the New York Post picks it up.
I knew it was
I
the
love
Post.
the New York Post. Now, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
did you do the rounds? How many people called you to have you on the show?
So I did ESPN radio yesterday.
That's great.
ESPN show, Stephen A. Smith might be coming up next week.
Wow.
I did Fox. I did Rob and Chris Broussard.
Nice.
The Odd Couple. I did that. I've done 7, 4. Got to do 2 at some point.
Did you call our boy Jamie Morris?
I did. I talked to him. I called WTKA. I called in to Jamie Morris. Told him the story. You know, that's my guy. So
even the Drew and Mike show talked about you.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Some positive press for a change.
How about that?
It's good, though, man. It's just giving everybody the story. I think the big thing matters, too, is like, look, man, at the end of the day, it's all fun and games, but just do what's right. Just do what's right.
Thank God you were there.
Yeah.
Because that kid was about to make the mistake of his lifetime. When I look, okay, I'm just going to go right here on this camera above Pete. I'm not getting up, Pete.
We got to.
Okay, I am not getting up. Okay,
It's 6
put
minutes.
up the picture that ends the show, and I'll talk when that is on. Okay, when I talk, put up the picture at the end of the
It's
freaking
literally
show.
6
I am not getting up
The
anymore.
camera froze on you, man.
Yeah, the camera's been freezing
camera
all
froze.
day. And you know what Pete does? He stands up in the booth,
it's
like,
on now.
and like he's freezing. You do that. Yeah, he's doing that to me as I'm talking to Dave Birkett. He's doing that to me, and
You
I'm
have
like,
no idea what
Pete,
this means.
Man,
it's
does
not
not
cold.
understand professional broadcasting.
It's not
I can't
cold
help
in the
it.
studio, Pete. This ain't categories. This isn't what's the show? What is Hangman? What are the other games that you do? Charades. This ain't charades.
Charades.
It's I don't know what you want. Well, you're telling me this. It's
Professional broadcasting. Learn.
Telling me this.
Anyway, Ray,
That's
it was
funny.
awesome talking to you, talking and just reading.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everybody, I'm passing them, I'm sending the stories out. Our boy Gutowski, our man Dan Gutowski. Remember Guts was here a couple weeks ago? He was so excited for you as well. Just a great duty, man. I'm so proud of you. And I hope something huge comes out of it for you.
I appreciate it. I'm laughing because you said duty, by the way. But
Did I?
you did. I think the big thing for me, man, I'm just happy. Like I think my stepfather is getting up there in age. He's 77. My mom,
Charles,
and my mom's young. How dare I say she's getting up there in age? But it's good to see them. Other people be proud for them. Like my neighbor, my mom and dad's neighbor across the street, Patel, he flagged my father down, Charles, and he said, hey, look, man, I'm so proud of your son. So for my dad to hear that from somebody else say they were proud of me, I think that's the thing that I kind of get a little choked up about. You want your parents to be proud of you, man. I think this is a time where everybody
How about Stan? Stan had to be
Stan's a football player. Stan, he didn't even say anything about it.
Stan.
But this is what happened, though. We did go golfing on Monday. And then when we golf, like he legitimately, the first shot I hit, he was like, that was a hell of a hit. I'm like, my dad don't talk like that. So I think that was his way of like.
I saw your putt. A little long on the putt though.
It was good. It was close though. It was a 42. It was a 42-foot putt.
I know. A little long on the putt.
How are you busting balls? You don't even golf.
I know. I don't golf. I'm playing around with you, man.
42-foot putt, man.
I'm playing around with you, man. Anyway, congratulations, and just thank God you were there. That's all I got to say. I can't wait for you to meet this guy.
Yeah, so it's funny. During the show just now, that's when I showed Ryan maybe a segment or two ago. Somebody got into, so his father-in-law is a principal. He reached out through John Yu at Pro Sports Zone.
Oh, look at that.
So I just got his father-in-law's.
Is that where you got your Dallas jersey, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No. This is good old Amazon Prime.
Okay.
This is good old Amazon Prime. But I just got his father-in-law's number. So after work, after the show, I'm going to give him a phone call and check on him and be able to actually keep in contact with the family. So
that's fantastic.
Man, blessings, man.
Congratulations again.
Camera's unfroze.
Oh, it is?
We got you unfroze, man.
Oh, look at that. Pete, how come you didn't do another thing for me so I know it was unfrozen?
Because I'm done with you.
I'm looking up at a camera. You don't tell me this camera's working. Here we go again.
You've lost privileges now. You're
Fine.
just on your own, dude.
All right, here's the scoop. Let me move on here. Wings at Avalanche tonight. Wings are starting a road trip.
Now they have two, right?
They have not one since they put that patch on, by the way. They have not one since they put that patch on.
Isn't it funny that the patch is a waste management
Yes.
patch and they've been garbage since
Yes,
put the
they
patch?
have been.
Jeez Louise, did we mess up the mystique, man? Did we
I hope
jinx
not.
ourselves?
I hope not. But you know what? There was like 20-some odd games remaining in the regular season. If you're going to hit a bad streak, hit it now and then get hot again towards the end of the year. Because you want to go into the playoffs playing your best hockey. And they were playing their best hockey a week ago.
They were, and they cooled off. To your point, maybe
Dylan Larkin's out a couple weeks. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, so when he comes back, maybe hopefully they get back into the groove. And by the time he comes back, maybe he can add and help them out.
So they got the Avalanche tonight. The Heat beat the Pistons last night. Hey, I want to talk to Kool-Aid on this one. Pistons were in this game.
Jimmy Butler.
Most of the game, they were in this game till Himmy Butler, I guess, did him in. 118-110.
Himmy.
They get the Nets again tomorrow? How many times are the Nets coming to Detroit, by the way?
Like the Nets in Orlando, they play them every day.
It feels like they're playing them like 10 games apiece, man, this season. But
what'd you take from last night's game?
I thought they played tough, man. Obviously, fans, they're ready to see progress as it relates to the win column. But in terms of their defense, their scrappiness, their hustle, they're trying more, but you could tell the talent just isn't there, man. You're playing a team like Miami Heat who have talent across the board, and you talk about big-time talent. And they got a player in there that I'm hoping the Pistons can find a couple of these type of under-the-radar guys like Thomas Bryant, who they just play physical, man. And the Detroit Pistons, that's what they need to add to their recipe and to their mix before next season starts.
9 wins.
I saw a good story that I think we can end on that you were like. Obviously, Jason Kelsey retiring from the NFL. 14 seasons, a hell of a player.
He did a nice thing.
100%. Oh, look, Pete's always on it, man.
He's on it,
baby.
Pete knew exactly where I was going. So apparently, Jason Kelsey's trainer has basically taped him for the better part of the last 8 years. 8 years. He's the only guy that would tape him before practice and at games. He was fighting cancer during the season, so he didn't get a chance to tape him in his last game. So before his press conference, where he announced he was retiring, or his press conference today or yesterday, he taped him before that press conference, so he got taped him one last time. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like when Jeff Saturday was retiring, but at the Pro Bowl, and they let him. Play. He was on NFC. He was with the he was with the Packers at the time.
Let him go to Peyton Manning.
Things like this are cool, man. I like that.
It is. By the way, speaking of the Kelsey brothers, Pete, we're going to play this one sounder from them on their podcast. They do a great job on their podcast, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more from the Kelsey brothers. But this is brotherly love here.
We did not talk about much of your retirement, and I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel any pressure from me to keep going, knowing I wanted you to keep going. I wanted you to keep playing this game.
Why didn't you tell me this? I would have changed my mind.
No. You've always been a step ahead of me in
I'm older, Trey.
in this game. Yeah, but it's in this game alone, you've always been a step ahead of me, and it's always been like I've had that flotation device right there. To have you out of it, man, it feels empty, and it definitely it feels like it's complete, you know? It was a success.
hear you.
It was a fun journey to watch, and like I said yesterday, man, I just appreciate you showing me the way and bringing us all along the journey with you, big guy.
We showed each other the way. You've been playing for a long time on your own, and I look forward to being able to appreciate and watch your games more and take in the bigger picture of football and everything that it has to offer.
Well, it's just it was cool being the tag team
hey!
of the National Football League. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a lot of love between those guys, man. You're talking about guys that played together at Cincinnati, and you're talking about having a big high school ball they played together, little league ball they played together, and now here it is. Travis Kelce is having to go it his own, if you will. It's a tough time for him, man, and he's had a big brother that was close in age that can show him the ropes. And that's where you got to give Jason Kelce a lot of credit, man. Like doing the right thing, being a guy that you can depend on, lean on, follow, be the model, and have fun. He also showed him, hey, man, you can have some fun. You can cut loose when you take care of business, man. So it's a fun brotherly thing to look at, man. I have my own brothers play football. They're a lot younger than me. They're not as close in age, but at the same time, man, like they're close in age, and I see their relationship, and just having brothers is a special thing. I mean, having siblings is a special thing, but I mean, you got brothers, man, and you guys play football, the same sport.
Both going to the Hall of Fame.
100%.
Isn't that amazing?
I hope Travis retires next year, and then I hope they go in the same year. Like I can't see them not going in the same year. They got to set that up so they go in at the same time.
I think that would be great.
Yeah,
man.
that would
and
be
Donna
great.
Kelce, the mom, it's got the split jersey. Now she could just focus on the red jersey.
This
now,
is true.
Finally, and Jason's wife, they go to Kansas City games. She refuses to wear Chief stuff. She'll only wear Eagles stuff. So when they go to the Kansas City games, it's his sister-in-law.
Right.
She'll wear a red shirt. It's like when I go to Michigan State games.
Okay, I got you.
I'll wear my Jets green.
Okay,
I won't wear
okay.
Michigan State green.
So it's like you're there, but you're not.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
there, but you're not. So I got a lot of respect for those guys, and that's pretty damn cool.
I do too. They're two cool people, man, and hats off to them. And it's funny. I think they're ushering in a new era for brothers. I mean, look at Equiminius and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Look at their relationship. Look at their podcast. I think you're seeing a lot more of the McCourty twins. They were kind of one of the first ones to do it. So I think
The St. Brown brothers are coming.
They're good.
Yep.
They're really
Pause.
good, man. But at the end of the day, so are we here.
Well
at
done.
Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Another good day in the books, as my guy over there will be back tomorrow. The whole gang is here. We're going to have a good time, man. Kool-Aid, appreciate you as always, brother. Peace,
Thank
Spy
you,
Bay.
brother.
See you on the ones and twos over there, man.
Thank you,
We're
my
doing our
friend.
thing.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Hey, don't do that chili freeze thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you Monday.
Thanks, Dave
That's
Birkett.
a nice dirt jersey, bro.
Oh, appreciate that. You know that 41.